All right, back in November, it was announced that Game of Thrones and Better Call Saul director Michelle MacLaren would helm and develop the upcoming Wonder Woman film. However, it appears that Amazon will need a new director. It's been announced that Warner Brothers and MacLaren have parted ways over what they call creative differences. There is no word yet on MacLaren's replacement. Wonder Woman is currently scheduled to hit AMC theaters on June 23, 2017. John, is this a worrying development for Wonder Woman and the DC Cinematic Universe?
It's absolutely worrying. This is because this raises so many flags for me and so many question marks. Okay, first of all, you've got this director who has directed some of the best episodes of Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, now Better Call Saul, and several other shows. She's a terrific director. This is a woman who knows how to tell a story. That's terrific. This phrase creative differences, and from what I'm hearing, it goes beyond basic creative difference. Apparently, these two could not see eye to eye, Warner Brothers and her, on anything. And so the flag's raised for a couple of reasons. From one point of view, it concerns me that you have a director of this caliber and the studio is fighting her? Why? I mean, this lady clearly knows what she's doing. Why are you not seeing eye to eye with her? But the second big part of contention that I have with this is something that I find comes up with Warner Brothers a lot. And I've liked a lot of the moves Warner Brothers has made in the past year or so. But here's my other big thing. If you guys are on such polar opposite sides of things, how are you so stupid that you made the partnership in the first place? Like, seriously, do you not do any vetting? Did you guys not sit down and have coffee at least once, like some rep at Warner Brothers and her, and get some kind of idea about where you want to go with this film? Are you guys so far apart and so clueless and so out of your minds that you just know what you do? It's like, her? Sure, yeah, come on board, and then find out if you're on the same page? How do you treat a property like Wonder Woman and not know if creatively you and this director are on the same page or not? Look, directors depart films sometimes. It happens once in a while over creative differences. We get it. But this was just November. And from what we're hearing, like, they agreed on nothing or whatever. So what were you doing during the hiring process in the first place? Either she was lying to you the whole time about what she wanted to do, or you weren't listening. Either way, I find this concerning. Doesn't mean the movie isn't going to be awesome when it comes out. Doesn't mean they're not going to get an even better director for the film. This could all turn out for the best, absolutely. But when I hear stories like this and the context in which it's in, yeah, I do find it really concerning. But Christian, tell me why I'm completely out of my mind or why I'm dead wrong.
I'm actually going on the other side of this because first of all, the reason why I don't think it's too worrisome is because we're about 2 years out. So it's going to give, in the practical side of things, it's going to give us enough time to find someone that they do find the same vision.
They do. Lots of time.
So in the time sense, it's not worrisome. Now, addressing what you had just said before, we kind of had this situation with Edgar Wright a tad, as far as going back to where this is who we want to hire, and then they come to realize we're on different sides of the path. Maybe not as explosive as maybe this situation is, but we also don't know what the plans are because of DC's universe. We don't know the creative team and the way that they're presenting this, and as Suicide Squad develops and now Batman v Superman starts to come out and more movies are planned out, or where it's going to. Maybe initially when they had those meetings and she said, oh, I have this. And then they said, well, we actually need it to go this way now because this is happening in the universe and she's not ready for the universe. Now, this is all just coming up with the top of my head, but there are things that they might have, Kevin Tsujihara and the team might know exactly where they want to go. And I want to give them credit in the Marvel, how Marvel's doing it. You know, Marvel has set up their universe, knows the way they want to do it, has a timeline. That's why Edgar Wright didn't fit in. We don't know. Maybe this is that same situation. It could be something else entirely. But I just think, as far as the questions being, is it worrisome? No, because it's for me, and if it's Warner Brothers knows the creative team that they want, they brought on. They've been pretty good with directors so far with their choices.
Quite good.
So I kind of think that maybe that if they're like, maybe we should part ways here and we can find somebody else that knows the vision that we want to go. I actually think it's okay.
I think it's a good example you bring up about the Edgar Wright thing. The one key difference, though, the one major difference, though, is in the Edgar Wright situation, from when they agreed to work with Edgar Wright on this and when he eventually left, was 5 years, with a lot of evolution over 5 years.
And
this was 4.5 months.
And the Marvel universe was completely different back then to what it.
Yeah, so it involved a lot. So my concern is, I totally agree with you. 2.5 years or 2 years, plenty of time to get another good director. My worry was just that, where is your head that from there to just now, you're realizing you're on such different pages. But very valid point. So anyway, Mark, how do you see it?
I don't think it's time to panic yet either. I think it's a concern, definitely, because you hate when you hire a director that you think was the right person for this project, and then they're not the person anymore. But I think that I agree with Christian. I think you have 2 years. There's plenty of time to find somebody else who's good, who can see the vision that Warner Brothers had. I have a lot of faith in their brain trust. Now, obviously, they don't have the track record yet that the MCU does, but Edgar Wright wasn't the only guy to leave early. I think that Thor: The Dark World had a different director,
and
then they had to bring somebody else in.
Wasn't it Matthew Vaughn?
No,
it wasn't Matthew Vaughn. It was.
Oh, yes, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, I know that because Alan Ball wasn't always attached to that project, and I think that Alan Ball, it's the dude from Game of Thrones. So I think that when you have something like what Marvel set up or what DC set up, the director is always important, but there's a group of people sitting around that are making those very important decisions, and sometimes it doesn't always work with directors. She had a vision as what she wanted to do. It is odd that they hired her and then all of a sudden it changes course, but I tend to think that that's because something else happened in the DC universe, whether it was a casting decision or whether it was something else with one of their other films that's coming out in that world, that they needed to take Wonder Woman in a different direction that she didn't agree with. I think it's good that they made this move now. I actually think it shows some strength that they're like, look, this is our vision and we believe in this enough to kick somebody as reputable as this director off the project. So it's a concern. It's not time to panic yet.
Okay, just for the record, I wasn't crazy. Matthew Vaughn was attached to Thor.
Really?
And early in the
first
process.
Thor?
Yes.
Oh,
first
okay. I was
Thor.
talking about Thor 2.
Oh, Thor 2.
Yeah.
Yes, like I said, I completely agree with you. I don't think it's time to panic. I think they have a lot of time to bring on a new director. Like I said, there's a half decent coin flip of a chance here. They may end up with an even better director, and it may all work out for the best. Like I said, for me, just the worry part comes from how, like with Warner Brothers, go back a little bit further. They set an announced date. They are so prepared that they set an announced date and announce when Batman versus Superman's coming out. And then very shortly after that, it's like, oops, did we say this date? We meant this date. And they push it back a year. Now it's like, okay, we have a solid understanding of our universe. We're picking this woman to be our director. 5 months later, whoops, did we say this woman? We're on completely different pages. We're going different. That's the part that worries me a bit. But I think you're absolutely right. It is not time to panic. Lots of good can come out of this. And I think I might be overreacting to it a little bit. But I'm worried. I'm worried.
Hey, you're the guy wearing the suit, so I
know. Therefore, what I say is more credible.